So ironically, you might get just a steadiness of the supply, or maybe an increase of the supply, or perhaps a diversification of the supply. And all of those things may dilute the power of large criminal groups like the Sinaloa Cartel or the Jalisco Cartel, because they just can't control all these independent players.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation. Well, in recent news last week, a leader of the Sinaloa Cartel arrested in Salem as part of a large fentanyl bust. DEA is calling it the largest fentanyl seizure in U.S. history. Do you hear about that?
In Oregon, then.
Yeah, in Oregon.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the reality of these markets is that we can talk all day and night about all the different mechanisms that we're going to use to shore up the border, to stop the flow of immigration, to stop the flow of, perhaps immigration is a slightly different topic, but immigration versus fentanyl. I mean, fentanyl is just comes across in such small quantities, and you need so little of it that it's not even right to say it's an uphill battle. It's impossible. You're not going to be able to stop this. There's a reason that these things are now, $1 a pill in some places. There's a reason that people are now readily smoking 5 pills at a shot. That's because it's so cheap. And the reason it's cheap is because there's an abundance of supply. You don't need that much to satisfy the market. And that's true with so many synthetic drugs. So when we sit down and try and figure out how to deal with synthetic drugs, and we focus all of our efforts and emphasis and resources on supply side solutions, we are missing a giant part of this equation.
What's that?
Then we have to deal with the fact that we are not going to stop this. That this is way more difficult than marijuana, way more difficult than cocaine, way more difficult than heroin. Any of these legacy organic drugs are so much easier to deal with from a supply side approach. And when I say supply side approach, I mean the act of trying to intercept or repress supply in some way so that people don't consume it.
Got it. It's easier to produce.
Well, it's easy to produce and it's easy to move. We're talking about just teeny quantities. These are nothing quantities. And I think we spoke about this the last time that I was on. These in the larger scheme of things of the chemical industry, this is nothing. You can't even see it. Again, if we did the pie chart, in this case, you did the pie chart, you wouldn't even see the chemicals on the pie chart that make up how much you need in order to supply all of the U.S. market with the fentanyl that it consumes right now. You would not even see that on the pie chart if you looked at all the chemicals that are being produced worldwide. And that's what you're facing down. You're not facing down how much coca are we producing or how much marijuana are we producing. No. We're talking about the global chemical industry. And so that's the supply chain. It's not poor farmers in some mountainous area. It's the global chemical supply chain. So we really have to wrap our heads around that. Those are your peasant farmers, is the global chemical industry. So I want you to replace the image of the farmer in the mountains cultivating the coca leaf or the poppy plant or the marijuana plant, and replace that with a giant chemical industry. Just in China alone, $15 billion chemical industry, of which a teeny percentage may be in the range of $20 to $40 million of which could be connected to fentanyl. Okay. Put that in the $15 billion, pie chart, and you got nothing. That's why you don't see any of this. That's why it's so hard to repress it. That's why the price just in the last 5 years has gone down 20-fold or more. You're just fighting a losing battle.